Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Have you guys been looking for me? Well, guess what? You found me in the kitchen with Angela. It's Creole Roots. I'm in the house. All things New Orleans. Today, I am before you because I'm feeling great. It's during the week. It's not even a weekend. But guess what? I decided I wanted to cook some cabbage a different way. You know, in New Orleans, we like to do smothered cabbage and all that. But I found a new way of doing stuff. So I'm going to just do cabbage and potatoes today on the stove top. Of course, you know that. So I have two good old potatoes here I peeled and I'm going to cut up. And I'm going to get them in the pan. So let me get started. Thank you for following my channel. It's In the Kitchen with Angela. All things New Orleans. We're cooking up some good old cabbage today. Thank you for following me. I'm going to cut up my potatoes first. And I like to put them in water too, because I think that helps with the starch, you know. So I'm just putting some potatoes in there. I'm not chopping them up small, just in quarter pieces, okay? See if you can see that. Yeah, I'm gonna just drop them in this water. That'll keep them from oxidizing and turning black. And it also takes away some of the starch, okay? So I'm just cutting up some potatoes. This one cabbage that I'm doing today. And like I said, it's going to be stovetop. I'm going to start turning on my fire. Because after I cut up my cabbage and get my cabbage washed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sauteing my potatoes and then my cabbage. And we're going to go from there. So this is cabbage and potatoes. And then I'm going to have some smoked sausage on the side that I'm pan searing right now, you guys. So this is the smoked sausage I put in my cast iron pot. And I'm going to have that on the side, so I'm pan searing it, okay? And I'm going to be doing my cabbage real simple with seasoning, garlic, and onion. That's really it. So yeah, so I just wanted you guys to see I have two potatoes that I'm cutting up, and my cabbage is really not gonna be smothered this time. Like I said, I'm gonna cook it in some butter with these potatoes. I'm gonna start off by putting the potatoes in the pan first, and you know I have my olive oil and my butter, of course. I'm just cutting these potatoes into chunks. I think potatoes are so good with cabbage. I don't know about you, but I love potatoes and cabbage. And I used to cook my potatoes also with my cabbage and potatoes with smoked sausage in it. Now this has been in the freezer. This is a purple onion. And I like purple onion, okay? So I'm gonna just be cutting up the purple onion. It was in the freezer. I took it out, thawed it out, and I'm cutting it in not so small pieces, but I'm cutting it up. Now my pan is already on the stove. I'm gonna put my olive oil in there. It's acting up. Come on, olive oil, get in there. And I'm going to go ahead and put some butter in the pan too, you guys. So we're going to start off by putting the butter in the pan. And potatoes, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rinse these off. See the water? Yeah, you can tell that the starch is coming off the potatoes, okay? So while my potatoes are cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and finish cutting up. I'm gonna put this onion in the bowl and keep it to the side. And then I have my cabbage that's already been pre-cleaned right here. but I'm gonna cut up the rest of this cabbage, okay? So I'm gonna get started with my cabbage. Let me clean up my onion juice right here with a paper towel. And I like this board, this cutting board that I use, because it has these slots in it to catch the drippings from meat and different things. I love that. So I'm gonna finish cutting up my cabbage. Get it washed up while this is cooking. My potatoes, I'm gonna add a little Creole seasoning to the pan. And I'm gonna add some salt and some pepper, okay? Now, cabbage is one that needs salt, you know, so that's why I added salt. I know y'all notice I never really use too much salt, but cabbage is one of those things that needs salt. So I'm gonna saute my potatoes. Okay, have to saute my potatoes, and I'm gonna finish cutting up my cabbage, and I'm gonna wash it up. So we're gonna put it in here, okay? So I'm just starting off by cutting the center piece out. This is very hard, and it could be bitter sometimes, so we don't really need that. And I'm gonna just go ahead and finish cutting up my cabbage. And we're gonna saute this cabbage and potatoes together, okay? So push that to the side. I'm gonna throw this piece away. And then I'm gonna cut this piece out. This is the center of the core of the cabbage. It's very hard. And I don't think it's too edible. You would have to cook it longer. But it's okay. So while I'm waiting for my potatoes to saute, gotta get them tender, we're gonna add this cabbage to the water. And get them cleaned up. At the sink. And, then we can finish cooking up our potatoes and cabbage with our meat on the side, okay? So I'm gonna come right back to you guys. Okay, you guys, so I went ahead and started soaking my cabbage, and I'm going ahead and I'm cooking my potatoes, which I seasoned first. And I'm cooking them, trying to saute them to get them a little soft so they can cook with the cabbage as well, and everything can become tender. So before I start adding the cabbage, I want to get a little sear on my potatoes. And then I'm going to add my onions in there as well, and my garlic, you know that. So I'm going to pour out my seasonings. Okay. And I'm going to add chicken bouillon, if you can see that. You see that? Yeah, I'm just going to add this one that I have left, because this brings out the flavor in the cabbage. It really does. So I'm going to add the bouillon now. And I still always try to add to my cabbage bay leaf. because bay leaf is a good way to bring flavor to your food. And I like to add it because it becomes very aromatic. So while I'm cooking the potatoes, I'm adding 2 main ingredients to help with the potatoes. Okay, which was 3 because I put the seasoning on the potatoes, and then I put butter and olive oil mixture, and also I have my bouillon cubes in here and bay leaf. So this is gonna be pretty good, and I'm turning my fire up because I want these potatoes to start cooking right. I'm going to go ahead and flip my sausages. I'm letting my sausages slow cook, you guys, because this is going to go with the cabbage. So I'm cooking my sausages on between the 3 and the 4. So I'm letting them slow cook. Now here is my purple onion. I'm adding that in with my potatoes, okay? Now, my potatoes are becoming tender. I added my onion in here. Like I said, this is a potato and cabbage stir fry. Okay. And I'm going to add in my garlic, you guys. So that's it. So I'm doing potatoes and cabbage, a simple way, sauteing on the stove top. And now I have my cabbage all cleaned up and drained. And I'm going to start adding my cabbage in here. And cabbage holds water, you guys, so I'm turning my fire up. And this is going to be a good lunch. So that's what I wanted to do. I've been meal prepping so I won't buy processed food out in restaurants. Because of my health condition, I always have to maintain a good healthy diet. So this is the only way to do it, is to stop being lazy and get in the kitchen, right? So I'm not going to add too much water in this dish, you guys, because, like I said, this is a sauteed cabbage and potatoes, okay? But I am going to be adding my seasonings. So I'm going to go ahead and add some Tony Saturé. And I'm going to add a little sugar too. Just a little sugar, okay? And I'm adding some seasoning salt, okay? And I'm going to add some pepper. I know that was on the potatoes. So this is how I do my stuff. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. Now sugar is supposed to break up the gas in foods. Okay? So that's what we're doing today. I added my sugar. And I'm going to keep on sauteing my cabbage with the onions and potatoes, okay? And I'm going to have this with my smoked sausage. So once the cabbage starts wilting, it's going to be good. And you know you can eat cabbage raw. It's one of those foods that you can't eat raw. So cabbage is good any type of way, I think. I don't know about the next person, but I love cabbage. And after I finish sauteing the cabbage, I may add a little bit water to it. But don't add cold water to something hot that's on the stove already. What you need to do is make sure the water becomes hot to add into a hot pot of food, because you don't want to break the temperature of the food, okay? So you don't add cold water to a hot pot. It has to match. So what I'll do is turn on my water now and get my get my water hot so that I can add some if I desire to. But like I said, cabbage pulls out its own water because it's a water vegetable. Most vegetables are. So you can add shrimp in this too if you wanted to. But I just wanted to keep it simple. I didn't really want to add anything extra. Just keeping it simple. Sauteing this, making sure the potatoes are tender. And let me go ahead and check on my sausages. And you can put the sausages in the oven too, you guys. You can add bell pepper and onion with your sausages as well. So then we got some good old garlic in there, potatoes, bay leaf, black pepper, Creole seasoning, butter, olive oil. What are you guys cooking in your kitchen? This doesn't take very long, but we want the cabbage and the potatoes to become very fork tender. And we want it with flavor, you know? So some people might call this fried cabbage because there's no water in it. You can add water if you wanted to add water. You can put a lid on this and let it finish getting tender and cook down. I'm going to test it with my fork just a moment. See what else I need to do. Yeah, the potatoes are almost ready, you guys. They're tender. That's why I cut them into pieces, because it's gonna, when you start cooking the potatoes first. So that'll work well together because they're gonna cook within the same time. And vinegar works well with this too, you guys. So I filled up my pan with some hot water if I decide to use it, okay? You have all that good in this pan. This is for my lunch for a couple of days. You want that cabbage to be tender and be full of flavor. And you want your potatoes tender and full of flavor, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my sausages again. So this is cooking down, you guys. I'm going to try some of the cabbage to see how I like the taste, okay? Here it is. So I'm going to try it. This is pretty good. It's full of flavor too. The only thing is, it needs to be a little more tender. And I'm gonna eat this or serve it up with the smokies on the side, okay? So you guys, see the smokies here? Let me show you. They're coming out pretty good. See that? So that's what I'm gonna eat with it, with the cabbage. So I appreciate you guys joining me. My cabbage is gonna be about 10 more minutes or so. I'm going to turn down my fire, put a lid on it, let it finish getting a little soft. I think I'm going to add a little bit water to it. Remember, this water is hot, so it's going to continue to cook. Because I didn't add cold water, I added hot water to bring up the temperature, or bring it back to the temperature it's supposed to be. You add hot water instead of cold water. So then you put a lid on it and you let it finish cooking to get tenderized and stuff. The flavors are awesome. They're excellent. So I didn't really have to do much. And I really wanted to tell you guys, thank you for joining me on my channel. If you have anything you'd like me to cook, just hit me up, okay? So this is my YouTube channel. This is In the Kitchen with Angela Creole Roots. Go ahead and subscribe. Click the bell to be notified when my videos drop. You know you got to go ahead and like my videos. Come on. You know, just hang in there with me. I appreciate everybody who has been hanging in there with me. So this is my video, a short video, not very long. It's going to take a few more minutes and I'll show it to you, plate it up. All you have to do is check me out on Instagram and Facebook. This is In the Kitchen with Angela Creole Roots. Thank you so much for coming before me every week. So I'll see you guys later. I'm signing out. Bye.